All right. There it is. There it is. What's going on, world? Man, shit, if you see in this video, you might have been around when I was doing a simulcast on Sunday, November the 2nd. Did a simultaneous podcast or simultaneous live stream, a simulcast. I don't know if that's the right word. I just named it that. But it was pretty much me playing Dragon Quest 1 that day. Got about 2 hours worth of recording on that, a bit of level grinding as well. And then I had the phone on the side. I was at about 80%. I could have went a little longer maybe if I had it charged up to 100, but nonetheless, did about a 2 hour, 2.5 hour stream. Just face to face. It wasn't a truancy hour. It was just a straight up just conversation and talk. But hey, man, you made it here. This is TTH 208. I'm trying to do my best to her, doing the best I can. I'm also trying to keep myself a bit humble. And the way I want to speak about things, I want to make sure that's on the board. Boom, you can see it. So I want to make sure that everything is legible, everything is understandable. I speak slow enough. I'm not getting too carried away, getting too into someone had the nerve to tell me I was getting into character, but it's like when I'm having to speak slow, that's me getting into character. That's me being a little more relatable, if not I don't know what it's called. Um More audible, more understandable, just simply understandable. I'm a little more understandable because my natural. If I get a little excited, if I'm in a natural state or just state of speaking, especially with people I'm comfortable with, my main thing is like I'm always uh I'm always speaking fast and mumbling, and people are trying to catch what I'm saying, and I'm like, it's on me, that I get carried away and I don't really speak and enunciate the way I'd like to. Um, I'm gonna see if this will fit right here. Actually, if I can fit this here, that's perfect because we're not too much in the line of sight. But someone was asking me today, like, would you ever think about doing a podcast? Because you kind of, like you're really good at speaking. You speak a lot. You're not too shy with being on the camera. I'm like, well, the being on being shy, being on the camera part is really interesting because in regards to that, I like doing this pre-recorded stuff because it's like I don't like people trying to look out in public and find me places and hey, that's the guy. Like I don't really want to deal with that. It's probably worse if you're a woman, obviously. The whole point I'm trying to make here is like everything is just really interesting right now. I'm not really camera shy. I got over that somehow, some way. In order to get to that mindset, I want to speak to this, and I've said this in every episode. You never know who drops in on any new episode. You never know who drops in, and that makes me want to kind of flip around uh, my playlist, my podcast playlist. So I might have to work on some logistical stuff later. That's just for me to worry about. Excuse me, hear me out here. I'm gonna say this in every episode. Hopefully, I expound on it to the best of my ability. But I want to speak about university mindset. University mindset is something that happens within yourself. And I was saying earlier today, for lack of a better term, I'm calling it the university mindset. But I don't want to say lack as in I don't want to use the word lack or like lacking in the sense of it lacked any potency. It lacked any legitimacy. I don't want people to look at it that way. I just didn't have another example from someone else's vocabulary or someone else's vernacular to use in regards to the university mindset. So let me explain the university mindset. I'm using university, the word specifically, and mindset, it kind of speaks for itself, but let's kind of break it down a bit. I want to speak about those on every single episode because you never know who's going to drop it on what episode. So hear me out here. Um, People go to colleges, people go to vocational institutes, people go to technical colleges, people go to community colleges, people go to universities, people just go to college in general. Whether you pay for it, you get the scholarship for it, you are in there because you're trying to get some form of degree, if not some form of certification that will get you a good job, if not a better job with a higher pay. You know what I mean? These specific degrees and certifications will help you not only get the job, but make sure that you're getting a certain pay that is actually decent for the city, if not the state that you're working in. My thing is, I want people to understand and recognize that, you know, and I'm going to speak about myself a lot, obviously, because I'm the one on camera and I'm the one like willing to be vulnerable here. I want to speak about this because, you know, you understand the degrees of everything in your life that you have either went through or that you have survived to some degree. You have understood those things. Therefore, you can certify yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you walk around here and sit there and pretend to be a surgeon and you had never done no kind of surgical stuff for a year or 5 years. I'm not saying that. I don't want no one I wouldn't want anyone working on me surgically that is just saying like, hey, I believe I'm a surgeon, just right off the top, rather than going to actual school and doing the practices. Yes, you have to always do the practices, but like I said, whether you knew it or not, you were going through certain practices in your life. I want you to start certifying yourself as a human being. I'm tired of people validating themselves based off of a certain wage that they have. You understand? There's a certain wage, or there's a certain job that finally validates your existence. There's a certain living condition that validates your existence. I want people to start loving themselves as a human being. I know people that have sat there and took care of families. They wanted to live their dream. They wanted to travel. They want to do certain things. They want to have vacations where they're actually out of town. But instead, they have to take care of families. They have to take care of sick people. They have to take care of people who are dying in their household, if not their neighborhood, or just like in their community, whatever that looks like. And they've never had a time to get a break. But all of a sudden, they don't get valued because they're living under someone else's roof, or they're sharing their roof with someone else, or they don't get valued because they have to deal with a certain type of car and they've never upgraded their car for the past 20 years. Like, I don't want people to look down on themselves because of their specific circumstances. I want you to know that because you are surviving and fighting through your circumstances, and you're staying alive, and you're taking care of people around you, especially if you're just taking care of yourself, that you can certify and love yourself simply based off of that. Simply based off of that. Let's start there before we start, expanding and becoming a better version of ourselves. I want people to start loving themselves before they start moving forward. Because people think they need to get out of the rut and the situation they're in. Some people do, don't get me wrong. Some people do. I understand. You might have an abusive household. You might have a very fucked up neighborhood that you're growing up in right now, and you're stuck there and you're just living in there. I myself, man, when I leave my house, I'm still under my dad's roof. When I leave my house, I go surrounding blocks, different areas. You know what I'm saying? I might, let me think about the southeast. I go down to the corner right there. They got two memorials, man. They got a memorial for like an OG dude who got killed right there. I don't know what happened to him. And then there's a young man who was about 15, 16 years old. He was standing right there in the corner. He got yapped up. They got his memorial right. There's like a little island in the middle of the street that people have to drive around, a little like a roundabout. His memorial's right there. There's two memorials over there. You go another block and a half extra, the mailman was shot and killed right in front of his own business, right over there. You go about northwest to the corner, like half a block up on the top of the corner across the street. That's where, you know what I'm saying, they had a little burger joint right there. They got the memorial for a young man, if not a OG, that was like living on the block right across the street at the house. And then that house is being sold. I thought they were going to tear it down, but I just seen like a young, I don't even know if they're a young couple, but I seen a couple like doing some work on it. So who knows what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Every damn near every couple blocks I go, I know where all the memorials is at. I know all the places of grief. So everywhere I go, I carry the grief. You got all these people gentrifying my neighborhood, and it is what it is. People need a place to live. People need a place to exist and enjoy and have fun. And they walk through that shit like it's nothing. They don't understand the pain of each block that I walk through and what I feel like every time I walk places. Like, I remember when this used to be that. I remember when this person used to live here, and then the rent went up and they got bought out of their own area. I know when so and so died or so and so got shot right here. I remember when so and so's blood was still on the steps over here. I can't help but think about it because I lived and experienced that. And now I'm not trying to say that that makes me a tough person, a great person, or someone who's a survivor. I'm just saying that I understand that I've went through all those different stages of grief, love, and all these different, spiked and heightened emotions, if you will. And I can certify myself as a human being and say, hey, man, you survived, the best of it. Now it's time for you to look forward to what the future may bring. It's time for you to look forward to the blessings that are going to start falling in your lap, if not just coming your direction, just, blowing in the wind, just right in front of you. You got to start noticing the signs because you're so used and attributed to these negative behaviors and aspects of life. But it's time to start validating yourself on the other side. Like anyone else in that situation, you would wish the best for them. Now it's time to start wishing it for you. So I speak about this as someone who's trying to find a little more love and self-love and respect for myself as the days go on. I'm not 100%. I don't think anyone is. I think it's always a constant work in progress. I could be wrong, but that's just me, and I want to impart that same wisdom and that same empowerment to other people. So hopefully these videos find people at the right time. A lot of times when I say university mindset, people can't leave the house without feeling like, damn, I'm like 30 years old, but I was fucking off that whole time. I never went to college. I dropped out of school, etc. They start feeling a way about themselves inside. And I'm like, now you no longer have to be within the comfort of your home or the comfort of your negative environment in your room and sitting there. Hopefully this video found you, and it's like, all right, I'm able to, what I'm saying, sit there and compartmentalize the things that I'm saying here to you, and hopefully it makes sense to you. Hopefully you can internalize something positive or something great from it, and then when you leave the house, you can just walk outside with a, what I'm saying, chin up a little more, shoulders down and back a little more, just, feeling a little more confident. You don't have to be reckless and rude necessarily, but you just have a little more confidence about yourself, or just you're a little more positive about yourself. Hopefully you can just carry some light within yourself. Hopefully I can impart that. So that's what this is all about. University mindset. I couldn't even tell you the specific university that we're doing right now. This is the school of life, realistically. Just the school of life. I just want to talk about it, man. Hey, man, that's why I got this right here. I got to write down my notes because sometimes I get carried away, like I was just about to do right now. I got to remember to just kind of stay on track, man. My last time I was here is the same specific room. I'll spare you the details. I spoke about it in 207, but we'll speak about this right here. Hopefully, I say things in you know, in a good timely manner. I'll say that. I ended it with 5 minutes left. I speaking about being left behind. I want to expound on it a little more. If you're interested in that, check out Truancy 207. If you're interested in that, I mean, if you're just keeping up to date with all the recent episodes, I appreciate you dropping in. I appreciate you being here. I can't be nothing but grateful. And we're going to talk about gratitude as well. Let me talk about being left behind. This is being left behind part 2 because I wanted to expound on it a little more. All I wrote here was just, feeling undervalued, being left behind by people who don't reach out, feeling undervalued, feeling left behind by people who don't reach out. Really interesting, man. I started thinking about a friend of mine, saying, he knows who he is. I don't really say this in a negative way to kind of bring him down, but I will say, like, it's kind of interesting because I did my best to make sure that I elevated this man. Pause. You know what I mean? I was just sitting there like, hey, don't let us hold you back. I know you want to think about the whole group, the whole crew, whatever, but I'm like, you got a lot of talent. You've been doing things a lot longer than us. Don't let us hold you back because you want to do for us. You should do for yourself, and then we'll always be here. The ones that are always going to be doing for themselves are always going to be here. The ones who are waiting for you to give them the handout, you're not going to see them in a while. You might not even hear from them. You probably, next time you hear from them or hear about them, they'll be talking crazy about you because you didn't do nothing for them. And I'm not one of them people. I want you to do for yourself. I want to see you succeed. My man did his best, man. Give the man his props. He did his best, but the evils that be, maybe he kind of needed us around him because the evils that be got to him. But who, like, again, back to the lack of knowledge, we wouldn't have known the type of things he got himself into. It's not his fault necessarily. It's people taking advantage of a good person. But it's interesting, man, because sometimes, me and him used to just, chop it up damn near once a week, just checking with each other. How you been, man? My bad. What's going on? Let me talk to you. Boom. Now, I got to be honest with you. I probably was in a very negative space. I was probably spewing a lot of negativity and a lot of drama and some rumor shit. It's like, hey, man, I don't want to, and I would say it to him, I don't want to sully up the so-and-so's name, but I want to speak about, boom, whoop-de-wop and this, etc. All that. I want to talk about these people. I want to let you know that they're not good people. They ain't the best people, man. You're probably still your friend. I'm sorry, but I got to let you know they ain't that great. So I would speak about it a lot. And I can understand why he would want to cut me off. You know what I mean? We're at a point now where it's like sometimes my guy be in town, man. My guy be in town, and then like I might just call and be like, hey, man, I am in town. Hey, let me know if you're around. But it's like he didn't tell me he was on his way in town. Like I would just randomly be calling him, and he was miraculously in town, and he's almost like he was already in town but forgot about it. This is someone I used to be tight with. A lot of times people feel like they're being left behind. You got to understand because this is an interesting thing. It's an interesting concept with time. We're going to speak about time and space a lot. You spend a lot of time in someone's space. You spend a lot of time in each other's space. So you got to remember, you can't forget that. You just can't forget that. There's a value that gets placed on that. There's a value that gets built on that. And then when that time starts to go away, when them spaces are either no longer occupied or those spaces no longer exist, God forbid, the person dies so you can no longer be within their space. And all you could think about is the times you had with them. But if they're still alive, it's tricky because when they're still alive, you know what I mean? You got to ask yourself, like, if they had died earlier, all you would do is think about the times and you would miss them that much. But while they're still alive and you can no longer access each other's time and space, you start creating a bit of resentment and hate because you can no longer spend that time and space with them. You got to consider, was it you that did that, that pushed them away? Was it them that walked away, that couldn't handle it? Who should be the person that should speak up first and apologize first, etc.? Are the apologies lackluster? Are there constant apologies and no accountability? You know what I'm trying to say? When you get left behind sometimes, man, that feeling of being left behind, it's like you start asking yourself, like, what is it about me that's so behind and it's not caught up with them? Or what's so behind about me that they don't want to deal with no more? A lot of people deal with that shit. A lot of people just sit there and start asking themselves all these negative questions that don't really matter. But you can't help but think that because you're a human being. It's a tricky one, man. My only advice here is just make sure that you know where you might have went wrong. You understand? You got to understand where you might have went wrong. You also can only really take accountability for your half. I'm speaking on behalf of like when you got like just a friend or a family member. You fell out with them. You fell out with them. You fell out with this person. That's just a one-on-one thing. So there's a 50-50 thing there. You know what I'm saying? I'll say something interesting, man. One thing I've learned is like it's kind of funny. It was a dude who was speaking about I forget exactly what podcast it was. It was somebody saying something like he was chopping up with an old couple. It was an old couple. He was on vacation, and then his old couple was like, "Well, what's going on with the marriage? You know, you want your marriage to last a long time. You're asking us for advice. So what's going on with your marriage? How are you guys doing things?" He's like, we're out of balance right now, but we're just working on stuff. So, oh, you guys are out of balance. You guys are working on stuff. So let me guess, you guys are doing 50-50, huh? And he's like, yeah, exactly. We're doing 50-50. So he was hyped. He's like, yeah, we're doing 50-50. And the couple was like, no, that's where you're wrong. Because no one picks up half and no one picks up half. You guys got to ghost bow 100%. You understand? You'll understand this, man, when you start thinking about certain relationships, whether it be with a certain family member or a friend. We'll stick to that. Because anything less than that, why would it matter? A coworker should never matter more than a close friend that's damn near a brother or sister, whatever, or a family member who's actually a brother or sister. Think about that for a second. And if you have a coworker that's that tight and close with you, hold that person dear, man. Keep in contact with them because you know when you observe when the world, if not the work ethic itself, is bogging down on that person. You should be aware of that. So, and this is the point I'm making is like when both people are going 100% in that friendship, this is damn near ride or die. Hope you are going 100%. You know what it is, man. You got to start asking yourself because I had to ask myself at what points was I being too selfish, taking up too much space in the conversation. I can only take accountability for my half. I don't know what's going on with my guy internally. I couldn't tell you. It's probably not even my business, man. It's probably something going on with his own personal family, if not the family he's trying to raise, but it has nothing to do with me. So as much as I want to sit there and be bitter and have a place, if not a person, to point my finger at, I have to sit there and take accountability for my actions and my own emotions on the situation. Because realistically, if it's that bad, I could just let it go and just move on. I can't pretend like it's not gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's always gonna hurt. Losing a friend, losing a family member, whether they're dead or just still alive, and you're just not messing with them. That exile kind of feeling, that ousting kind of feeling, that basically being left behind kind of feeling. You understand? It's a bad feeling. People just feel forgotten about. No one wants to feel forgotten about. It's not that we're living this life. Well, some of us are, but it's not that some of us are trying to live a life where we're trying to be remembered and have this like legacy, if you will. But sometimes people just, they live for the legacy within the friendships, if not the family. And like for me, it's all about like, listen, man, I just want to know if I can do for somebody that's either done for me or do for somebody that either is a valuable person or someone that's worth loving. That's all I want to do for people personally. But sometimes that can get misconstrued. Maybe my own vernacular has came across the wrong way. So I got to be mindful of that shit. But I can't act like I never felt left behind. I can't act like I've never been hurt. And it was me that has to deal with those emotions. For me to have to impose that on someone like it was their fault that I'm feeling the pain, you got to remember sometimes, man. I don't want to it's not easy, but you got to sit there and ask yourself, okay, I'm basically blaming someone else for the pain that I'm allowing myself to feel. Because someone else might go through the same similar situation I went through, and they're just like, you know what, man, it is what it is. I'm gonna brush it off. And a lot of that comes from experience. They're so used to those experiences that after a while they're like, you know what, man, I've dealt with this before. I'm out early before it gets worse. I'm out before it gets worse in general, and I can respect that because I'm getting there now. But with certain people, especially if I've known them since like back in the gap or whatever, it's crazy because it's like, yo, it's crazy that like we just fell out or we just don't even talk like that no more. It's a whole lot of apologies on so and so's side. Like I'm the type of person, man. If I call you and then you text me back you're sorry, rather than call and say like, hey, my bad, what's going on? That's some goofy shit because it's like reciprocate what it is that I did. The effort I did was to call. It's nothing wrong with saying like I can't call right now, but just if constantly I'm calling and I only get text back like I'm sorry, what's going on? And it's just those who don't even get followed up. I'm like I already know these people don't even fuck with me like that no more. It's a sad thing. It's a sad existence. But some days I be so low, I try to reach out to see who still fuck with me, only to feel bad again because I'm feeling like I'm being left behind. But I gotta ask myself like, why do I keep going to the same things if I knew what those results were before? Hopefully you guys ain't going through what I'm going through, but hopefully that makes sense as well. So that was that, man. We tapped into the university mindset. I always want to get you guys with a reminder of that. Also giving you an update of where I am personally, etc. But I just wanted to expound a little more on being left behind. That's that being left behind part two. Just think a little bit more about that. I'm just kind of freestyling here. You know how that go. I'm gonna speak today about gratitude a little bit, man. Also, I wanna. Oh, my bad. Yeah, there it is. Forgot I had 3 arrows on the joint. All I wrote here specifically was I was just trying to be more grateful more often. Now I couldn't tell you how important it is, but I will say exercising gratitude a lot more has changed something within me internally. For better, for worse, I want to say for better, because I've been in a great mindset and a lot of strange, abundant things have been coming in my life, and like I'm not always able to really see it, but like in the past week, I was able to see some positive things, even though they seem strange at first, even though they might have rubbed my ego the wrong way. Excuse me. Pause on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was very mindful of it. So I said I'm trying to be grateful. Excuse me, more grateful more often. And it's harder when you focus on the negative more than the positive. So we can go back to like being left behind, man. It's just like the fact that I had time. You know, what is the saying? The saying goes, to have love and loss is better to it's better to have love and loss than to never have loved at all. For those that want an understanding on that, it's basically like if you were to have a relationship with somebody, if you had a girlfriend, it's better to have loved that person and then lost them. Either you love that person, you guys break up, you love that person, they pass away, you pass away, etc. That's just a worst case scenario. But it's better to have love and lost than to never have loved at all. Never have loved at all is like you've never had a girlfriend. You've never had someone to love. You've had never had someone love you. Better to have had love and then lost it. You could sit there and philosophize all day about whether or not it creates a yearning. You might even create just simply a lesson that allows you to never feel that immense heightened emotion and then get knocked down from it. You understand? Never be fooled again. Never fool yourself again. Let's bring it back to yourself. Never fool yourself again by loving the wrong people. That's another aspect people got to remember. A lot of times you fall in love with people, you fall in love with the love that they're giving you, and then when all of a sudden they're just less available or they're less whatever, it could be less anything less than what you're used to, then you start to realize, okay, back to that 100%. Anything that goes below that 100% is going to just throw you off a bit. You see people not putting in the same effort that they did from the jump. You know, how you start is how you finish. People forget that. I say this all the time, man, especially the dudes that try to, you know what I'm saying, talk to these girls. They do all this effort in the beginning, a lot of effort in the beginning. And then the moment they start knocking it down and just start, having sex more often, and you get used to going out to eat, and now you guys want to save money. You guys don't date like you guys did in the beginning. You guys don't have the same, you know what I'm saying? How you start is how you finish. If you're the type of person like you just love the Netflix and chill, be in each other's space, cuddle up, and just watch TV and hang out, that's how you want to start it. Like, hey man, this is what I do. This is how I live my life. You know what I'm saying? If you want to grab a coffee, boom, grab the coffee, come by. And if that's not what she does, then that's just not what she does. Move on to the next one. Find somebody that does what you want to do. Simple. People go to the gym and be trying to find these girls that like, oh, I want to go find a gym fit girl and then do some go out and eat pasta and shit with her. She goes to the gym, she ain't gonna be eating pasta like that. You understand? You gotta make sense. If you're a gym rat type of person, you gotta find a gym rat type of person. It's very simple. Very simple. Why would you deal with someone? Why would you try to force someone to be something that they're not? Be grateful for who they are. Because now you're gonna start being mad at them when they start, this thing just isn't working, whatever. Because you didn't have the university mindset to be grateful about who you were. You couldn't even tell yourself, you couldn't even tell the other people around you who you were. Quite simply, you couldn't. If anything, you might have just had a hard time telling people who the hell you were, which I understand. That's rough. That's rough for a lot of people because who I am today might be different tomorrow. But I know exactly who I am right now. I just understand very simply. It's like, hey man, I'm on some peace, love, and shit. You talking about ambitions and stuff. Whatever the day brings and whatever's available, we're gonna seize it. You understand? Having this clear path. If I sat there and started giving people my dreams, that ain't even your business. But I know simply who I am, and you should not tarnish that and mess with that. Plain and simple. People trying to mess with my peace, I give them a second chance sometimes. Like, hey, let me see how far they're trying to go. A lot of people don't go that far, and I'm getting better. I just grounded myself in that, but I can't act like I'm not getting emotionally whatever. But again, on that same note, I'm grateful that I did the work. I'm grateful to myself that I put myself in situations like, hey man, go and pay for the $100 therapy session. go ahead and pay off the debt for the therapy that you've been doing every week that ended up boosting up because they took away the insurance for the the payments based off of insurance and stuff. They took away sliding scale. I'm grateful that I powered through that and I took care of myself and I took preventative, if not proactive, means to my own mental health. And I'm in a very better mind state and space. I'm grateful to myself for that. And I'm able to look back at those past couple months that I was doing things. I'm like, hey, man, I got to give myself grace. I got to give myself some gratitude for that. And it's not easy because sometimes you got to go through some shit just to figure out how happy and grateful you are to just make it through to the other side. And it takes time to finally be grateful. I understand that. But again, you're spending a lot of time and space within yourself. You spend a lot of time with yourself. You're within your own space all the time. How are you spending that time? Back to university mindset of what I'm trying to say is like, are you spending that time speaking to yourself negatively? Are you spending that time speaking to yourself or treating yourself in a negative manner, giving yourself junk food, doing things that are destroying your body, destroying your mental? You understand? Things that are encapsulating your spirit, practices that are encapsulating your spirit, just kind of boxing things in. What are you doing to free yourself a little more and experience yourself, to love your potential? Can you reach certain heights and then the moment you get knocked down or the moment that you start taking losses, you start thinking negative about yourself because you have this high standards? Nothing wrong with having great standards for yourself, but if you're not meeting them, can you still love yourself in the long run? Can you be assured that like, hey man, I'm still a great person. I got things done. We've done it before. Let's get back to it. You can turn into that drill sergeant. You can turn that person that turns that drill sergeant conversation into a, hut 1, 2, do wet. You know what I'm saying? You just sitting there on beat with yourself. Stay on beat with yourself. Create and manifest your own rhythms within yourself. And start being grateful for the work that you're putting into yourself. Really put those things into motion. Start understanding the gratitude. The gratitude starts with yourself before you start being grateful for the people that enter your life. The beautiful people that end up in your life. That beautiful girl that enters your life finally. You start being grateful for her. You finally deserved her because you started working on yourself and she came around and it's all working the way it need to work. That's the way gratitude got to be, man. It always starts with you. Excuse me. I'm grabbing the string, but I also got this. I'm just picking this up off the ground. This is the red leaf that I had in my hoodie pocket from last night when I was here. I was reaching in my pocket before I left, and I was over here pulling out a. I thought it was a gum wrapper. I'm like, man, I got a random gum wrapper. What the fuck this come from? I thought I threw it in the trash. Come to find out, it was just this red leaf that ended up in my pocket. I'm like, what's this about? What's that? But before you can get, that's what I'm saying. Before you can get and access those places and spaces, you got to find it within yourself because you're with yourself every day. I tell people all the time, man. I used to ask people, what's your favorite show? Like, man, I fuck with Pokemon. I used to like watching Pokemon. I'm like, oh, you like watching Pokemon? Who's your favorite character on there? It's like, I like Ash. I like Brock too because, Ash never gave up. Brock never gave up on trying to get the girls. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's what you like about them. But, you watch them episodes like what, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day when it would show up on TV. You would experience them and you would look outside of yourself and experience them from a distance. But like you live with yourself in your own body. You seeing this coming out of your 2020. And if you blind, you dealing with what's happening within your surroundings and within your immediate space. You're feeling the universe and the world around you simply 24/7. And you can't have that same character development or love for yourself. You can't love yourself as the protagonist of your specific life and situation. That thing is different, man. They're in I love Pokemon too. That's a fantasy world where they get partners that are these fucking and electrified animals, you know what I'm saying? Elemental animals type shit. Using superpowers basically. These people are in a superpowered kind of thing, and you can't find the superpower within yourself of you overcoming your own mental problems, you know what I'm saying? Your own poverty situations, things like that. You can't find the love for yourself to be grateful to yourself that you've made it through. Some people be out here like when you really think about it, once you start getting over 15 years old, you've lived certain type of lifetimes, like sets of 7 in life. When you start getting to like 7 years old, you start looking back like, damn, I used to be that small, like a baby and shit, but I got a lot more to go. You start turning to 14, like, damn, I'm basically a young adult, man. I'm basically competing with certain adults that are either my height, size, or whatever, and they just like they half-assed their life. I'm starting to compete with them. Another 7, you're 21, you're able to drink now and smoke and all that shit. And like you could sit there and do that, but you're still competing with these other adults around you. You had to ask yourself, damn, I got like 20 years of my life, 15 years of my life to reflect on that I had done. All the wrong things I've done, I can start doing right. I have access to a job now. I can start doing a lot for myself, etc. You can't look back at that and start having some love for yourself, man. Start loving yourself, please. That's for everybody. Please start loving yourself, man. Please start having some gratitude for everything you went through. Start validating yourself, certifying yourself. And you don't have to walk around here and necessarily be an asshole to people and be like, hey, man, I'm the shit because boop, boop, boop. You don't got to say all that. But you can say it to yourself before anything. Say it to yourself. And if it sounds right, start saying it to other people. But don't go out the woodworks right away and just start saying something, because some people might find it insulting. And you'd be surprised that people who find it insulting really hate themselves. And they got to work on themselves way more than you've already done. And I'm the type of person, I might sit there and it's like, man, you crazy. You over here tripping on me because I'm being proud of myself. I might actually sit with that person before it starts eating away at my own energy. I might sit with that person and really see what's going on. I had friends like that. I sat with them for like hours. Them motherfuckers still ain't did shit for themselves their whole life. They're probably dead. They're probably just dead inside. They don't even know what to do with it for themselves, man. And they just lack the love for themselves. And I understand that. Get it. Motherfuckers rationalizing shit all the time. Excuse me. About why they are where they are, and they are who they are, or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. That's me speaking on gratitude. Let's talk about, hey, man, let's get all full circle with all this, man. That's my shoe. I don't know if the microphone's picking up on that. My shoe's over here squeaking. Don't think I'm over here passing gas up in here, bro. Let's be honest, bro. This is a small room. Let's be honest. I would not want to be passing no gas up at this joint. I got to open the door in a second anyway. I don't know who's out there waiting for me to get the fuck out. I'm just, like I said, I was waiting for security and engineers and shit to be like, hey, bro, we need the room. We got to put the shit back. I'm like, oh, my bad. GTH 208. Let's get it in. Last thing I want to talk about is time and space, man. I want to simplify things with time and space because we can get real metaphysical and shit, but I'm not a metaphysical type person, man. You know, you want some metaphysical, whatever. Hey, man, tap in with, what's that dude? I don't even know, man. Billy Carson and them guys, man. Shout out to Billy Carson, bro. Shout out to Billy Carson. 4BK, Forbidden Knowledge TV or whatever, man. I'll be on that YouTube channel. I'll be tapped in with that. You want some more concise things, I would say go there. This is just me with my simplified, you know, things that I want to impart, wisdom that I want to impart. That's all I'm trying to say. Hey, bro. Truancy 208. Here we go. Being left behind, part 2. Gratitude. Now we're talking about time and space. I'm gonna tell you what I wrote down, man. Hopefully this makes sense. I was writing it kind of fast though. I said, when given a space for a certain amount of time, kind of like right now, like I say, man, it doesn't matter if you're within these university spaces or places, or you're within your own zone, wherever you're at, wherever you're staying at, wherever you're viewing this at. Doesn't matter where you at. Carry the university mindset within you. Doesn't matter what space you're in. When given a space for a certain amount of time, try to utilize it as best as possible. And I've been here since about 11, if not 12. I've been here since about 11, if not 12. It's getting close to 5, if not 6. You tell me what that is, man. Let's say we came here at 12 then. Let's say it's getting close to 5. We've been here for about 5.5, 5, 6 hours. Just locked in, doing things. Said what's up to a couple of people in the hallway. Whoop, wop. You know what I'm saying? Did one Dragon Quest video. Did a second one that was about 2 hours. Did another live stream that was about 2.5, all at the same time. Now we got this going right here for about the next 40, 50 minutes. How are we going to do it? When given a space for a certain amount of time, try to utilize it as best as possible, man. I might not get the space again. I might not get the specific room again. I got to do it. I thought about going home. I was like, I'm kind of tired. I might want to go home and eat something. I want to go home and eat something. You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of a fat kid. You know, low key, that's just kind of how I am. But I'm like, hold on, man. We got the space for how long? Ain't nobody dropped in and said, get the fuck out yet? Nobody said, get out yet. I'm still using the space. I'm still recording right now. Running my phone battery dry. Microphone plugged that in a while ago because this shit died when I was on the live stream. Charged it up for a little bit. Here we are. I'm going to this, you know what I'm saying? The green light starts blinking on the 1 and the 2. This one goes out, that one starts blinking. That's how I know. But we still got the space. Utilize the time. You understand? It don't matter what city you're in. If the city you're in is still good, utilize the time there. The city and the wages are good. Utilize the time and space there. You also never know how long a good thing will last. Plain and simple. That's pretty much all I've been expounding on this whole time. You also never know how long a good thing will last. I'm here right now, man. I've been in this. I've been tapping in, saying university mindset. Like I said, we're here now. University spaces and places. We're here. We got the whiteboard. We got this right here. They for some reason, the little whiteboard cleaner, the little spray, it kind of exploded a little bit, so it wasn't working that well. But they have a what do you call this? The hand sanitizer dispenser. I just put the little paper towel on that, boop, boop. I'm still able to use it. When I came in here earlier, yesterday, I was like, can I use the back room? Is it okay? Like, it's fine. I'm like, all right, come back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 of these little whiteboard spaces just filled with equations and dimensions and numbers. I don't know who was here a while ago doing the class. I don't know, but I had to clean up after them. But I'll tell you one thing. I was grateful to have the space nonetheless, and I just took care of it myself because I was given the space. I'm going to make sure I use my time, putting the elbow grease in it just to wash this down. I was wiping it down. I was getting on my boozy joint right here. I was over here wiping it down. 4 of these panels, 4 of these whiteboard panels. Nobody wanted to clean it before they left. They left it for me to do. I don't know why. It's like, why would I get access to the room, but you left me this? Matter of fact, I'm not even going to trip. I'm grateful I have the room. I'm grateful I have the space. And I'm going to utilize my time taking care of the space better. So I'm going to embed my energy into the space and say, hey, man, I'm going to embed my energy and time in the space. You're going to see how well I kept it. Now you guys are going to know that every time you come here, you keep this space good. Every time you come after me, pause, you're going to see. You got to keep this area right. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Space and time, you don't know how long how long a good thing will last, simply. No matter if it's a relationship, let's not get to the relationship because that's outside of you. You don't know how long your body will last. You don't know how long your city will last. You don't know how long the state you're in will last, whether it's certain politics, whether it's things you disagree with or not. You don't know how long those things will last. You could sit there, stay in the fight all day. You can fight all day, but you are straining yourself when you fight. I spoke about this last time. It is in regards to, shout out to my guy, Thomas, man, that we work with. Young man, he said, path of least resistance, man. That started ringing in my head. I'm like, that man ain't wrong. He misconstrued what I was saying, but he ain't wrong at all either. The path of least resistance. Remember that. Shout out to Thomas, man. It's very simple. Path of least resistance. And you don't know how long that's going to last. You don't know how, sometimes people get so accustomed and used over time to certain paths of least resistance that when resistance actually happens, you ain't ready for it. Utilize the space. You understand? This is some easygoing shit, man. They gave me this space. They allowed it for me. And you know what I did? I did nothing but work hard in here. I did nothing but work hard and clean up these whiteboards for these people. It's not my job to do that. These people are supposed to clean up after themselves before the next person comes into the room. Who gives a fuck? I have the room now, so then I treat it right. And if after treating the room right, whether that serves me well or not, we're going to find out. But I've been doing nothing but 4 to 5 positive hours in here. You can't tell me that the energy is not deposited in the right way. You can't tell me it isn't. Utilize space and time, no matter where you're at. I don't care if you're in your household. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're in your household. You got your own room. You got a living room space that's good. It's decent. And you keep fucking it up as you go and you're not cleaning up after yourself. You got to take care of your spaces. You got to take care of spaces you occupy, man. Whether it was given to you or you took it yourself, you got to take care of that shit. Think about what this country is built on, man. Are we taking care of the land? We are raping the soil to the point where we probably can't plant no more. It's bad in a lot of places. We got a whole lot of land everywhere. You're going to have to move to the next county, if not the next zip code, just to fuck with the soil again, just to get more crops going. And even then you want to expand because your business probably going to expand doing all these different grains and mills and shit. There's a thing where it's like, I want to say it was Mexico. I believe it was in parts of Mexico. They found pyramids in Mexico. If it's not there, it's probably the ones in Peru, because Peru was the Incas, and then in Mexico it was the Aztecs. Excuse me, that's a lot of soda. Woo, excuse me on that. My bad on that. Incas were in Peru. Aztecs were in Mexico, to my understanding, and I'm only speaking about the borders. I couldn't even tell you about, realistically, that's Inca country, that's the Inca nation, and that's the Aztec nation. You know what I mean? Because Mexico and Peru, those are like Spanish terms. That's a whole different conversation. Let's talk about indigenous terms. Right? Let's get real back down to the little territories and specific people that were really in that area, because these places had pyramids, meaning that there was actual civilizations in those areas. It was either one of those two civilizations. It was either one of the two, if not both, when they finally discovered it, as if people were never there, because obviously people were there if they built the fucking pyramids there, or there were people living amongst it, because there was there was signs of life that people were living. There was signs of society and civilization there. The point I'm making is this, my bad. We're getting carried away here. The point I'm making is this. There were signs of civilization being at this one civilization that had pyramids and basically like people you could tell they used to live there. But why did they leave? Why did when people discovered, if not rediscovered that area, why was there no one there? And it was a very fundamental thing. It was like, oh yeah, it's they didn't stay there for long because they were already there for ages and generations. They were there for hundreds, if not, yeah, hundreds of years at a time, and they farmed there over and over and over. Pre-machinery, but they probably had some good, they probably had some good tools, right? I mean, at least the machinery that we're used to now, like ain't no fucking, what do you call that shit, bro? Caterpillar, John Deere type of shit. It wasn't none of that, but they was working the land. So they're like, why aren't they here? And it's like, well, it's very fundamental. I mean, they've lived and farmed here on this land so much, they had to go to the next place. Because it's like, why would you keep doing that to the land? Why would you keep tilling the land and keep rebuilding it like that? You're destroying it. The land can only yield so much at a time. Yeah, it gives you a lot. Yeah, it takes care of itself really well. Yeah, you might have a decent amount of sun and rain in that area. Sure. But they were mindful enough. That specific civilization, it was either the Aztecs or the Incas, one or the other. I can't remember. I couldn't even tell you. My bad that I don't specifically know. But they knew, like, hey, man, we just can't keep doing that to the land. We got to go to the next joint. Right or wrong, we got to get on. Like, it's been good here. We've been here for a minute. We got to go, though. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. That's on a nature level. God, love, and nature. That's my trinity, personally. You are allotted a space. You are allowed in the space. Utilize the time wisely. You don't know how much time you have there. You don't know how long that thing might go away. I say this all the time, whether I was in the Beyblade space or whether I was in another community. I was like thinking about it, especially as time went on. When I seen a lot of people come and go in different spaces and places. Sports world, boxing world. I seen a lot of people come in and out the gym every month, every season, every year, different people. I left as well. Poetry space. You see people come and go. Rapping space, writing space. You see people come and go. The beat making space. You see some people stop. They come and go. Music space, etc. People come and go. Organizing space. People come and go. Activism space. People come and go. The workspace, your own work environment. I worked a job. The longest job I worked was about 5 years. I've seen a lot of people come and go. I'm just utilizing my time within that space as much as possible to get them wages in and then invest that shit. Woo, 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 wow. I don't know how long I'm gonna have these rooms. I don't know how long I'm gonna have this. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be the library down the street, whether it be the next campus, the next university campus, college campus, whatever I can get, whatever I can get my hands on, whatever they're allowed to give me, whatever I'm allowed to still use a badge in and out at. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm back on campus. I'm out on the campuses. I'm utilizing the time in these spaces. It's allotted to me. It's allowed to me. Utilize it. Everyone has a different situation. You might not have what I have, but think about what's around you. Be grateful for what's around you and try to utilize the time in that space as much as possible. If you got a good thing, nobody is impeding your success, if not your livelihood, if not your life in your space sometimes, man. The only thing that's really impeding your own life is you. So start doing shit for you. Plain and simple, man. Plain and simple, man. So everybody, I want you guys to start taking care of yourselves, man. That's all it is, man. Don't worry about being left behind, man. Ask yourself why you're bringing yourself down in that same situation. Start being grateful for things a little more. Start finding a little more gratitude within your life. Start pinpointing stuff. Start utilizing the time and space around you a little more. That's all it is. That's all I'm gonna speak on. That's all I wrote down. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to impart wisdom on and speak on. And hopefully that makes a lot of sense, man. I'm gonna leave it right there because I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, and I've been in this space for a long time, man. I ain't trying to utilize these people's time. I'm always looking at the window door trying to find out who's talking to me, etc. Sometimes I look right, sometimes I look left. It depends on what side of the building they got me on. I seen somebody moving a while ago. That was an engineer. That's different. Hey, bruh. Listen, that's the Truancy Hour 208, man. That's all I can really say, man. Hopefully this makes sense. It might not make sense now. Hopefully it makes sense down the line, bruh. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there because I can do it. A lot of people can do some things and they ain't doing nothing. I'm just trying to do something. I gotta leave the house. I gotta do something. I don't care if it's corny. I don't care if it's whatever. I gotta do something. My whole channel is documented stuff. It's just me documenting a video game. My interpretation is me playing a certain RPG. This is me as the main character, etc. What? This is my thoughts, my beliefs. This is my live stream. This is my video game. This is my music. Come on now, man. Hey, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll catch you on the next one. There it is. Peace.